Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 7. And today's video is going to be another theory video, and this one is in regards to Godspeed and how he could potentially play into the season, and how this could potentially link with the future Flash storyline as well. So we are 5 episodes into The Flash Season 7, and we are obviously exploring the 4 different forces as the main storyline of the season, where we find out that the Speed Force isn't the only cosmic energy out there in the multiverse, but there are 3 others alongside the Speed Force, that being the Strength Force, the Sage Force, and the Still Force. And in the most recent episode of The Flash, and by the time I'm recording this video, that is episode 5, we have learned that Fuerza and Psych are just like the Speed Force itself, so they are also a cosmic entity which embody the force which they possess. So it's going to be a challenge for Team Flash to take them down. And going into episode 6 of the season, we will be exploring the Still Force with Steadfast. So seemingly the main storyline for graphic novel number 3 will be with this force storyline. Now, months back during DC Fandom, we got the teaser from Eric Wallace that we would finally be getting the original Godspeed during The Flash Season 7. This got a lot of people hyped, saying that it's been years since we last had a speedster main antagonist, excluding Season 5 because Reverse Flash doesn't really count as the big bad of that season, it was Cicada. But also we had the reveal that this season was going to be heavily speedster related. So once again, this was leading to most people believing that Godspeed would be the main antagonist for The Flash Season 7. And also I had theories saying that Godspeed could potentially play into graphic novel number 3, and he could potentially have been the user of the Speed Force. But again, that doesn't turn out to be the case, saying that we saw the embodiment of the Speed Force arriving during episode 5, so she will stay as the Speed Force user, if you will. So yeah, I have a couple of different theories talking about how Godspeed could potentially play into this season. Now, as I have been saying from my previous theory videos, this is just a theory video, so please don't take what I'm about to say as a way to get excited, even if the theory could potentially make sense, because there's a huge chance that I could be wrong, in which it's highly likely that I am. So I don't want to be the reason for you guys getting disappointed because the outcome did not turn out the way I may have theorized about, in which that specific theory ended up getting you guys excited because you guys would have thought that it would have ended the way I theorized about. So please don't use this theory as a way to get excited, because if the outcome is different, I don't want you guys to get disappointed. So yeah, this is just a theory video. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. So first things first, I don't think we will be seeing Godspeed during graphic novel number 3. So graphic novel number 3 is from episodes 4 to 11, now being 6 to 11 since we've already wrapped up episode 4 and 5. I think Godspeed will be the main antagonist from episodes 12 to 18, that being the back half of the season, aka graphic novel number 4. Now, the first theory being is that Godspeed could be introduced through time travel. We obviously had the mystery last season with the Godspeed clones and the whole "the one who sent me wants infinite velocity" thing, and we all theorized about that the original Godspeed would be the one sending these Godspeed clones, which would make sense, seeing that we will be seeing the original Godspeed coming into fold for season 7. Now obviously we know that Godspeed is a speedster from the future on the show, and whatever his motivation is, after the failure of the Godspeed clones, this forces the original Godspeed having to go to the past to face off our Scarlet Speedster. Now another thing to support Godspeed being from the future is that we know Bart Allen will be introduced for this season, and he will be appearing for the 150th episode. And during his character description, when they obviously announced that Bart Allen would be appearing, it was said that he will be helping Team Flash defeat the main antagonist of the back half of the season. And saying that a speedster from the future is coming to help Team Flash in order to defeat another antagonist it only makes sense that Godspeed will be the main villain for the back half of the season, saying that he's also a speedster and he's also from the future as well. So Godspeed could potentially play out from time travel. Now, another way Godspeed could be introduced into the season is that he is working for somebody, and that could make sense as well, because when you really think about it, why would somebody clone themselves? So in the context of Godspeed, why on earth would he clone himself? And if he's so obsessed with the Flash, why doesn't he just go after him alone? So Godspeed working for somebody does make sense when you think about it. Now, during the Flash Season 7 Episode 4, we did have Abracadabra mentioning that Barry was eventually going to be obsessed with the future. Now, the reasoning for this, we don't know. Whether will we be seeing this storyline come into fold during Season 7, that's a whole new question as well. But what if Barry investigating the future could possibly pose a threat to someone? Because remember guys, Barry is from the past if you compare it to the future. Meaning, he has the power to alter things from the past before something happens. So if Barry begins to become obsessed with the future, which we know eventually will happen due to Abracadabra's tease, he could potentially end up coming across something antagonizing and something which could pose a threat later on. And he will probably try to make sure that that future doesn't end up happening. So he could change the past so that it doesn't happen in the future. Now, during the same episode, we had Abracadabra say the following: "I'll be doing you a favor by killing you now, Flash. This way you won't have to face the wrath of Chronarch." Now, this was a very interesting teaser because last time Abracadabra name dropped something, that person ended up being the main villain of the next season, in which it was obviously Clifford DeVoe, aka the Thinker. So with this, it is highly likely that we could potentially end up getting Chronarch as our main antagonist. Now, I had absolutely no idea who the Chronarch was, but thanks to Paige's video, I do have a bit more understanding to who it is. Highly recommend checking it out if you guys don't know who the Chronarch are, because it is very useful. But what if the Chronarchs were the ones sending these Godspeed clones to go after the Flash, and once they have failed, Godspeed, who's working for the Chronarch, basically is told to go after the Flash? Now, I'll give credit to where it belongs. One of you guys were the ones who told me about this Godspeed Chronarch theory, and I thought it was very interesting. I cannot remember who it was, so be sure to tell me in the comment section down below whether it was one of you guys. However, the Chronarch are from the 64th century, and so far at least, from August Hart's Godspeed during Season 5 Episode 18, he was around in the year of 2049, that being still in the 21st century. So Godspeed is definitely somewhere around that timeline. He isn't too far ahead into the future, unless they end up making Chronarch part of the 21st century for the show. But if it isn't the Chronarch, I think it's highly possible that Godspeed could be working for someone else. But I think we will have him as the main antagonist for the Flash Season 7, and I don't think he will be working for anyone else. I know in the comics Godspeed is an anti-hero, but I think for the show they're gonna change him up and make him a villain. Now, the final theory I have, and I am not going to stop talking about this theory until I am proven wrong, and it is that Godspeed is Eddie Thawne from the future. At the end of the day, we never saw what happened to Eddie once he got pulled into the singularity. Now, I have done like 5 to 6 different Eddie Thawne Godspeed videos because I just think this is so possible, and if they don't do this, it will be a missed opportunity. But as I said, it's just a theory, so please do not get excited over this. Now, showrunner Eric Wallace did say that the main antagonist for the season will be an antagonist for both Barry and Iris as a couple. He didn't specify which villain it would be, whether it's the first half or the second half of the season. Now, I wonder which character could possibly be getting in the way of that. From what we heard about from Eric Wallace, Godspeed seems to have that personal connection to both Barry and Iris, saying that this villain would be connected to both Barry and Iris as a couple. And I think Eddie Thawne would be a perfect fit for this storyline. During the Flash Season 2 Episode 1, the Flash was praised about being the one who saved the city. He was the one who was the hero of the city. But what about Eddie? If it weren't for Eddie's sacrifice, Thawne would have still been out there, and he probably would have ended up killing Barry. So I think this could be a very interesting motivation for Eddie. if he was to be Godspeed, and because Barry got praise for everything and pretty much took everything Eddie ever wanted, including Iris as well, this could drive him down a dark path where he develops a hatred for Barry and somehow gets speed and it ends up becoming Godspeed. I think that would be a very interesting storyline to explore. And also, I have said this from the past videos I have done about Eddie Thawne Godspeed as well, but Eddie knows who is part of Team Flash. He knows Barry operates in Star Labs, and he knows that Barry is the Flash. The Godspeed we saw last season, I know he's a Godspeed clone, but not only did he attack Star Labs twice, but also he knew that Barry Allen was the Flash, saying that he attacked Barry Allen specifically. So clearly the real Godspeed told the Godspeed clones who to go after. So the real Godspeed definitely knows that Barry Allen is the Flash. So although August Hart is Godspeed in the comics, just think of how crazy of a twist it would be if Eddie Thawne was to be Godspeed on the show. And again, linking to my first theory about time travel, maybe the singularity ended up pulling him into the future and we could get time travel playing a part like that. Who knows? But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below whether you guys have any other ideas about this Godspeed stuff. Yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.